Looks like this place has been abandoned for years. Oh, hello there. Good evening. I was just out for a drink and my name is Ben Slack. I'm not normal. I'm actually very different from most people. But maybe we'll do my backstory another day. But for right now, for this evening, I am here to bring you the top 10 horror movies of all time. Starting off at number 10 is John Carpenter's The Fog. The Fog is a very odd story. It's actually kind of a ghost story. 100 years ago, between midnight and 1, something unnatural and evil came out of the fog. Now it has returned. Very scary movie. It's from the creator of Halloween and The Thing and Christine and Escape from New York. Don't miss it. At number 9 is Universal's classic film, Dracula. Dracula is based on Bram Stoker's bestseller about a 500-year-old vampire who leaves his castle in Transylvania in search of new blood. Two girls, Lucy and Mina, become his victims. Dracula kills Lucy, transforming her into a vicious creature of the night like himself. Soon, Mina falls under Dracula's spell and is terribly endangered. But thanks to a scientist wise enough to believe in the supernatural, the vampire is finally destroyed and Mina is released from her thrall. And then, at number 8, is Alfred Hitchcock's masterpiece, Psycho. Psycho is the story that takes place in a quiet little motel, the Bates Motel. You look at it, and it's hard to believe that it was the scene of murder. I'm not going to give away any of the story, but just watch it, and please be kind to that Norman Bates. He's just a nice young man. You just don't want to get his mother mad. And at number 7 is Universal's classic, The Wolfman. The Wolfman is the story of a young man named Larry Talbot who returns to his ancestral home in England and hopes to restore his relationship with his father. There he meets a nice young woman who he's become quite acquainted with. But things get really hairy when one moonlit night, Larry encounters a strange woman being attacked by a strange beast, and in the fight to save her, he is bitten. A very painful bite. But then, things get really weird when authorities go to investigate the scene, and instead of finding a dead beast, they find a man with his head bashed in. Soon, Larry may be guilty of manslaughter. But then, cut. I messed up the words. Okay. I was on number 7. Okay. I think it's going good. Should I just start whenever? Alright. I'm about to start. The Wolfman tells a story about a young man named Larry Talbot who returns to his ancestral home in England and hopes to restore his relationship with his father. And he actually meets a young woman who he's become quite acquainted with. But things start to get hairy when one moonlit night, Larry encounters a woman being attacked by a strange beast, and in an attempt to save her, he is bitten. But when authorities go to investigate the scene, instead of finding a dead beast, they find a man with his head bashed in. So Larry may be guilty of voluntarily manslaughter. I'm not going to give away anything, but believe me, it is a really good film, and it's actually the film that introduced us to the movie monster, the werewolf. And it also introduced us to the classic poem, "Even a man who is pure in heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and his underwear is too tight." Well, oh, I'm sorry. I read the teleprompter wrong. I meant, even a man who is pure in heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the moon is full and bright. And at number 6, we have Goosebumps. Believe me, just saying that title gives me goosebumps. Didn't even think that was possible. Goosebumps is based on the classic stories by great author R.L. Stine, and it is also a great television show with many, many different horror stories. Just watch it, because you'll love it. Following up at number 5 is the slasher classic, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street tells the story of teenagers who are really too scared to fall asleep, because if they do, they will be murdered by the vicious Freddy Krueger, and hear that very terrible and very scary nursery rhyme.
2 friends coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, gonna stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep. I'm so scary.
Believe me, before I heard that nursery rhyme, I thought the scariest rhyme was, Following up at number 4 is my personal favorite, Willard. Willard tells the story of a young man named Willard Stiles, who was very verbally abused by his mother and is horribly bullied by his boss, Mr. Martin. Soon he befriends a colony of rats that live in his basement, and his best friend is a big black rat who I'm actually named after, Ben. Willard and Ben go on a bunch of schemes trying to get even with the people who torment him. He slashes his boss's tires, but then soon, after Mr. Martin kills Willard's favorite rat, Socrates, Willard just snaps and goes insane, and he and Ben commit the ultimate crime: murder. But after abandoning his rat colony, Ben turns the army against him, and let's just say Willard is not going to order those rats around anymore. It is a great performance by actor Crispin Glover, and it is a great film. I definitely recommend you watch that. And at number 3 is Stephen King's classic, Carrie. Like Willard, Carrie... Yeah. Okay. I'm starting at number 3. Like Willard, Carrie tells the story of a young girl who is horribly bullied by her classmates. Young Carrie White is different from most girls. She possesses a power that is unbelievable. The power of telekinesis, which is the ability to move objects with your mind. And also like Willard, her peers just push her too far. Back here.
I thought I was in the room. I was like, crap, this is why I was going to lock up the room with my backpack.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling the story, and all of a sudden I hear crap. I'm like, okay. All right. Once again, at number 3.
Okay.
If your hands are good. Oh crap! When I did the Freddy Krueger rhyme, I should have grabbed out this cross. When I said crucifix. What? Okay. You good? I thought I was gonna come in there. I was gonna turn the camera around and point it to the door because I thought you were standing there and you were gonna tackle me. What? Yeah. Like Willard, Carrie tells the story of a young girl who was horribly bullied by her classmates. And also like Willard, they just push her too far. Oh, wait a minute. To start over. I forgot to mention something. Okay. I'm going to restart from 3 again. Like Willard, Carrie tells the story of a young girl who was horribly bullied by her classmates. But if only they knew she had the power. Carrie White possesses a power that is just unbelievably powerful. Telekinesis, the ability to move objects with your mind. And believe me, if they knew she had the power, they would not have pushed her so far on senior prom night. When you watch Carrie, be ready, because you are going to see a movie that is just unbelievably horrifying. And I'm talking about both the 1976 version with Sissy Spacek and the 2013 version with Chloe Grace Moretz. Following up at number 2, Frankenstein. Universal's Frankenstein tells the story of the obsessed Dr. Henry Frankenstein, along with his hunchback assistant Fritz, creates a monster out of bleh. Start over. Okay, start over. Universal's Frankenstein tells the story of the obsessed Dr. Henry Frankenstein, and with the help of his hunchback assistant Fritz, creates a monster out of body parts that they've collected. And believe me, when you're watching Frankenstein, when that monster becomes, as I quote the good doctor, alive, things get really, really horrifying. Soon people are being murdered, and it's up to the doctor himself, with his own hands, to destroy his creation. And finally, at number 1, is John Carpenter's Halloween. John Carpenter's Halloween tells the story of 6-year-old Michael Myers, who went mad one night and killed his older sister, Judith. But 15 years later, once he escapes from captivity, he returns back to Haddonfield, Illinois, to resume right where he left off, and going after young Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. And it's up to his doctor, Dr. Samuel Loomis, and the sheriff to stop him. Before seeing Halloween, I thought the scariest thing was the sweetheart killer. You know what I'm talking about, MD. But after seeing Halloween and hearing John Carpenter's classic score, there's nothing scarier than the Boogeyman. Well, I've been fun telling you about the scariest films of all time in this rundown of the studio. If you excuse me, I gotta get going. This vamp has gotta feed.